The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look at my soul. I've been afraid I would follow alone. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Welcome into a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. If you're in the market for a brand new or slightly used automobile, do yourself a favor, do your wallet a favor, and check out the good folks at Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. With you till 3 o'clock, taking your phone calls on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. Division I and Division II All-State in boys basketball was announced about an hour ago. Just one player made All-States in Division I from our area. Congratulations to Todd Simons from Austintown Fitch. He is on the honorable mention portion of All-State in Division I. All-State in Division II, special mention going to Troy Metzka from Struthers, Sherrod Taylor from Cheney, Cole Daly from East Liverpool. Honorable mention going to Xavier Green from East Liverpool, Jackson Hendershot from West Branch, Aiden Slocum from Struthers, and Drew Weir from Salem. And that's it. Those are the names, all states, Division I and Division II. We thank Dana Ballish from TV 21 for getting that information, as those are the kids from our area that made All-State in Division I and Division II. Don't know if anyone saw this or not. Hypocrisy, it's at its absolute finest here. Just a couple of days after getting their first and only victory in the Missouri Valley Football Conference on Saturday night in the victory over Youngstown State, Western Illinois has decided that they've had enough of the spring football. This is the hypocrisy of it. This is their tweet sent out. Out of concern for the safety and well-being of its student athletes, Western Illinois will opt out of the remainder of the 2021 spring football season. So this concern, let me use air quotes here, concern for the safety and well-being of our student athletes. This really, we didn't have much of that when we were playing Youngstown State Saturday night. We didn't really have much of that. Didn't have too much of that safety, well-being, all that other BS. But once you get past Youngstown State, I think we've had enough of this. Out of the safety and well-being, we're going to opt out of the remainder of the 2021 spring football season. This is code for we're not good enough to play the rest of the league, so we're just going to say adios amigos. We'll be back in the fall. Come on. Seriously? This is why Western Illinois is the runt of the league. At least have the balls to sit back and tell the damn truth. Yeah, we got ours. We got our victory. See you guys in the fall. This has nothing to do with the safety and well-being of its student athletes. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. That's BS. This has everything to do with the fact that you got your victory over Youngstown State. You weren't going to be getting a victory the next week, because, let's be honest here. You were going to be playing, who do we got here? Who was Western Illinois going to be playing? Western Illinois was going to be playing in Carbondale against Southern Illinois in their final game of the season. Well, actually, second to the last, because they were supposed to play South Dakota. Because there was always this one makeup week, because everyone knew that there was going to be some COVID issues. So April 17th was going to be the makeup week. So South Dakota, because they lost this game to Western Illinois, and they've already canceled their game this week against South Dakota State. South Dakota's season is now officially over. Southern Illinois, they got their game canceled this week. Their season is now officially over because of the cancellation. Illinois State had already canceled earlier in the year out of the safety and well-being of their student athletes. Call it as you see it, and just tell the damn truth. Not interested in playing this anymore. We got our victory. See you guys in the fall. But that's what this is. Because you didn't bitch and moan about the safety and well-being of your students on Saturday night when you were playing very well in the second half in the victory over Youngstown State. Hypocrisy is just such a stupid thing. Good Lord. All right, so Western Illinois bounced, and boy, does this make things interesting in the Horizon League. Youngstown State will play Missouri State, one of only two games that have not been canceled as of yet. North Dakota has canceled their game against Illinois State. Western Illinois bowed out. Southern Illinois is left holding the bag. South Dakota and South Dakota State have been postponed as well. So there's only two games that are going to be played this week in the Missouri Valley Football Conference, and that would be Youngstown State taking on Missouri State. That game is going to start at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, and North Dakota State taking on Northern Iowa in the Unidome. That game will start at 5 o'clock. And then the following week, there's already two cancellations. Because Western Illinois is no longer playing. South Dakota, they're left holding the bag, and Missouri State is left holding the bag. I'm wondering if Missouri State could play South Dakota. Just spitballing there. I'm wondering if Missouri State could play South Dakota and finish their season. I honestly don't know if Missouri State played South Dakota this year or not. Yeah, they did play them, and they beat them 27-24. I'm just kind of curious as to can Missouri State play a team that they have not played yet this year? The one team that they didn't play this year was South Dakota State, but South Dakota State's going to be playing North Dakota State on the 17th, so that's kind of out. And South Dakota State isn't going to be able to play Missouri State this week because YSU's playing Missouri State. So the whole thing is a mess. It's an absolute mess. And again, Western Illinois doing just something that was I would say it's predictable. I would have said it was very predictable for them to do that. We got our win. See you guys in the fall. I mean, just the thing that I'm just kind of miffed at is the whole safety and well-being of the students. Get that crap out of here. You aren't even concerned about the safety and well-being of your students. You got your victory. And that's the only thing that you guys wanted, was to get your one victory. And now you got your one victory, and now you guys can use that as an excuse, which it is, and you can mosey on out of spring football. That's what this is. Call it out, which I did. 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Congratulations to McDonald's senior pitcher Bree Callow. Yesterday in Sebring, she threw a perfect game, 5-inning perfect game performance in the Blue Devils' victory over the Trojans. She struck out 13. By the way, Bree Callow will be headed to John Carroll, a good Division III school. 15 batters, 15 up, 15 down. She struck out all but 2 batters. So there were only 2 balls put in play in the 5 innings. That's pretty impressive. That is pretty damn impressive. So congratulations to Bree Callow. Perfect game in her 5-inning performance. McDonald knocking off Sebring yesterday, 14-0. Congratulations to her on that performance yesterday. Lots of things to get to on this Tuesday. Coming up at 1 o'clock, we will be hearing from Scrappers General Manager Jordan Taylor. There is a job fair that will be going on at Eastwood Field, and that's coming up in 9 days. So next Thursday, 1 week from Thursday, April the 15th, there's a job fair going on for anyone that wants to work with the Scrappers during the inaugural Major League Baseball Draft League, in which the Scrappers are one of 6 teams that are going to take part in this inaugural season. If you want to work with the Scrappers and work for the Scrappers this year, whether it's as an usher, a vendor, some other form of capacity at Eastwood Field, there is a job fair that is going to be taking place next Thursday. So Jordan Taylor will be joining us at 1 o'clock, and we will most definitely talk about the job fair coming up on Thursday, April the 15th. Also, coming up on the program today, we will hear from the skipper of the YSU baseball team, Dan Bertolini. The Penguins are above 500. They are 14-13 overall. This is the best start through 27 games in 16 baseball seasons. First time since 2005, the Penguins have had a record above 500 through 27 games. The Penguins are 9-7 in Horizon League play. This is the best start in Horizon League play since 2008. So it's been 13 years since the Penguins have had a start better than this. 9-7 on the campaign. And by the way, they're only 1 game in back of second place Milwaukee, who the Penguins will be playing this weekend out in Wisconsin. The Penguins have earned series wins over Wright State and UIC in the same season. That hasn't happened in 15 years. Last time that happened, 2006. So lots of really good things coming out of Youngstown State with the baseball program. Colin Floyd was named a national top 30 pitcher by Division I baseball. And I'll tell you what, Colin Floyd is making a serious case to be invited because he is draft eligible. Colin Floyd is making a serious case to be invited to take part in this draft league. And here's a spoiler alert. If Colin Floyd is part of the draft league, he'll be playing for the Scrappers. And, oh, by the way, he'll probably have a pretty nice leg up on everyone else in terms of pitching at Eastwood Field because that's his home field when YSU plays. So pretty safe to assume that if Colin Floyd were in the draft league as a member of the Scrappers, he would have a leg up on everyone in terms of knowing the facility better than anyone else, for what it's worth. But Colin Floyd is certainly making a very strong effort and a very good case for himself to be invited into this draft league. And keep in mind, Prep Baseball Report, PBR, is in charge of inviting drafted or draft eligible players into the first year of an inaugural season of the Major League Baseball Draft League. This is the league that includes the Scrappers, West Virginia, Williamsport State College, Frederick, and Trenton. It's a 6-team league, and again, this is invitation only, and it's for draft-eligible players. Now, who's draft-eligible? Anyone that is a senior in high school, they would be draft-eligible. If they're good enough to play professional baseball, you would be draft eligible if you're a senior. If you go to a junior college, you are draft eligible. If you are at least 3 years into your college career, you could be a redshirt sophomore. As long as you have been in college for 3 years, you are eligible for the Major League Baseball draft. And again, Colin Floyd is making a serious case to get that invite by Prep Baseball Report to be part of the inaugural season of the MLB Draft League. Now, I saw something, and I definitely want to talk to Jordan Taylor about this. We really haven't brought this up, but I think this is going to be pretty interesting. This is an Olympic year. Now, it wasn't supposed to be. Unfortunately, COVID kind of screwed the Tokyo Summer Olympics. But baseball is going to be a medal sport once again in the Olympics. This might very well provide a bit of a hiccup to the inaugural season of the Major League Baseball Draft League because you are going to have some competition. The Draft League does have some competition from the Team USA. Team USA for the Olympics is going to be a bunch of amateur players. So one would assume the slam dunk can't miss first round draft picks of the upcoming draft, which will now be held in Colorado. More on that in a bit. One would assume that those players and anyone else who is pretty much a slam dunk to be drafted will play for Team USA when we have our Olympics this summer in Tokyo, Japan. The rest of the folks, well, they'll be playing in the Major League Baseball Draft League. Still going to be an awful lot of talent, but certainly the supreme can't miss in terms of getting drafted kids will probably be pitching and playing for Team USA, being that this year, because of COVID, is an Olympic year. The Olympics are going to take place in Tokyo, Japan. Again, we made mention about a minute or so ago that the draft is going to be held in Colorado. That's where the AllStar Game is now going to be held. Major League Baseball announced this morning that the AllStar Game and the subsequent draft are now going to be held in Denver, Colorado. Over the weekend, I think it was Friday afternoon, Major League Baseball decided that they wanted to get out of playing the All-Star Game in Georgia because of the Georgia law that was just passed. Whether it's the right or wrong decision, I'm split on this. Part of me wanted Atlanta to still host the All-Star Game simply because it's not their fault that Georgia passed this law. They're against it. The Braves are against it. Delta's against it. Coca-Cola's against it. A lot of the Fortune 500 companies that are in Atlanta are against it. Neither here nor there. It would have been nice. Plus, let's be honest here for a second. honoring Henry Aaron in Denver, Colorado, not really all that spectacular. And no offense to the folks in Denver. He had nothing to do with the Colorado Rockies. Hell, the Colorado Rockies weren't even a major league team when Henry Aaron was playing baseball. And if you were going to take the All-Star Game out of Atlanta for political reasons or whatnot, at least have the foresight to recognize the fact that Henry Aaron played in two cities, Atlanta, Georgia, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So the only logical place other than Atlanta to put the All-Star Game in the context of honoring Henry Aaron, which is what priority number one should have been, given the fact that you're honoring one of the greatest baseball players to have ever played the game, and is, in a lot of people's mind, not mine, but a lot of people's mind, he's still the home run king, to which I say, get over it. Barry Bonds passed him. It doesn't matter whether he took steroids or not. Barry Bonds passed him career home run-wise. Get over it. Another story for another time. But the point in this is, if you are going to get rid of the All-Star Game in Atlanta, then at least have the historical reference to understand if you're honoring Henry Aaron, the only logical place other than Atlanta for this All-Star Game this year is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Why? Because Henry Aaron began his career and ended his career in the city of Milwaukee. Played for the Milwaukee Braves before the Braves went from Milwaukee to Atlanta, and then ended his career playing for the Milwaukee Brewers. So while Major League Baseball did make a decision that some people are happy with, some people are pissed at Manfred, moving the All-Star Game from Atlanta to Colorado was incredibly stupid. Not because of why you're moving it. It's if you're moving this game, knowing that you're honoring a guy that meant the world to Major League Baseball, and specifically to two cities, why the hell are you moving the All-Star Game to a city that didn't even have Major League Baseball when Henry Aaron was playing Major League Baseball? So, Rob Manfred, you get an F- for historical references. You should have moved the All-Star Game to Milwaukee. I mean, that was the slam dunk of all slam dunks, and you blew it. Is what it is. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. So we got lots of local stuff to talk about. I've put a call into Greg Goulas. For those not aware, there is a statue that is being erected as we speak. And the statue is of the late George Shuba. Now, for those that are not familiar with the name, George Shuba was a Valley native who played baseball for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Now, this was long before Brooklyn moved to Los Angeles, so been a few years back. George Shuba played in the Dodger organization. He spent most of his career, unfortunately, playing AAA baseball in Brooklyn's AAA franchise, which was back then the Montreal Royals. This was before the city of Montreal was given a Major League Baseball team in the late 60s, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, George Shuba played a very integral role, very important role, in the acceptance of Jackie Robinson. Now, unfortunately, this did not occur in a Major League Baseball game. Otherwise, people would still be talking about it to this day. But in early April of 1946, the year before Jackie Robinson was to go into Major League Baseball, where he shattered the color barrier once and for all, which in my mind has been, will be, and will always be the single most ignorant thing Major League Baseball did in its entire history. the most ignorant thing Major League Baseball did was not allowing blacks, Latinos, and anyone else of color to be part of Major League Baseball. It was one of the dumbest things that was ever done in Major League Baseball, but I digress. A year before Jackie Robinson made his debut with the Brooklyn Dodgers, Jackie Robinson played alongside George Shuba with the Dodgers AAA team in Montreal. Well, Jackie Robinson hit a home run. All right, as he is circling the bases, guys in the dugouts, they didn't come out to celebrate. It rarely happens when you come out to celebrate someone hitting a home run, unless it's a game winner, a walk-off, if you will. So Jackie Robinson circles the bases. He touches home plate, and there's George Shuba, who was on deck waiting to hit and was patiently waiting for Jackie Robinson to circle the bases. He touches home plate, goes back into the dugout. George Shuba is the next guy up. George Shuba shakes Jackie Robinson's hand. This picture was made famous in a Time Life front page. Time Life used to be a weekly thing. It was a weekly magazine. I don't even think it exists anymore. But this was supposed to be called the handshake heard around baseball. A black man shaking hands with a white man. And this is something that played a very important role in the acceptance of Jackie Robinson, not only as a baseball player, but as a Brooklyn Dodger, even though it happened in the AAA Farm Club in Montreal. Because George Shuba is a Valley native, Greg Gullis, amongst other people, are hoping to get this finalized and get this completed, where it is a bronzed statue capturing that moment when George Shuba, the on-deck hitter, is ready to greet Jackie Robinson as he hits a home run for the Montreal Royals. Robinson touches home plate, and they shake hands, which was a very, very important part in the growth and acceptance of Jackie Robinson as a member of the Brooklyn Dodgers, albeit the AAA team, but it was a cool moment. Had it been in Major League Baseball, everyone and their brother would still be talking about this to this day. They are erecting a statue of this. Where I was hoping to get a hold of Greg Gullis. We're efforting that to try to get a hold of him to talk about the progress of the statue, when it's going to be dedicated, when is everyone going to be able to see this, and is there a possibility, albeit a slim possibility, because Jackie Robinson's widow, Rachel Robinson, is still very much alive, albeit she is, I want to say, close to 99 years of age. She will turn 99 on July the 19th, but she is still alive. Jackie Robinson's widow is still alive, and there was talk. And again, Mrs. Robinson is probably frail, being that she's almost 99 years of age, but there was talk of Rachel Robinson being in Youngstown to be one of the distinguished members of honor with this dedication of the statue. So we put in a little bit of a call and put in a little bit of time to see if we can get Greg Gullis on the show to talk about this statue, when it's going to be dedicated, the whole 9 yards. But I think it's something that is incredibly important, not only to baseball, not only from a historical reference, but because George Shuba was a Valley native, grew up on the west side of Youngstown. I think that and this is really cool, that he was part of some pretty cool history dating back. Good Lord, what is it now? 46, almost 80 years. What is it, 75 years this year? 75th anniversary of this. And that should be coming up momentarily because the season started around mid-April. So this is the 75th anniversary of that. And I think it's a pretty cool that the Valley is going to be getting a bronze statue recapturing that pretty legendary moment. So hopefully we'll get a hold of Greg Goulas at some point this week, get him on the air to talk a little bit about this statue that is very close to being part of the fabric of downtown Youngstown. All right, 330-886-0813. We'll take a timeout, take some phone calls. It is a Tuesday edition of Running Point. Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. We're back in a bit.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Shuba. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Bad credit, no problem. I can get you approved for a low-interest loan and maybe even a low-payment lease on a new car at the #1 Chevy dealership in Trumbull County for 3 years in a row. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved or come see me, Tony Page, to get a new vehicle today. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. Coming up at 1 o'clock, Jordan Taylor from the Mahoning Valley Scrappers will be joining this show. We have a job fair coming up next Thursday for those that are interested in working for the Mahoning Valley Scrappers in this, the inaugural campaign of the Major League Baseball Draft League. The job fair will be next Thursday, April the 15th at Eastwood Field. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the upcoming season ticket sales, single game tickets, group sales, the whole 9 yards. Listen, I mean, it's going to be the exact same kind of things that the Scrappers concentrated on when they were an affiliate of the Cleveland Indians. And I know there's some people that are wondering how the non-affiliation with the Indians is going to affect, attendance-wise, the Scrappers. What I would say, and we'll get Jordan's opinion on this, but what I would say is they're not affiliated with anybody now. Essentially, what I would tell people is this is different in that you don't know which of these players will be playing for the Indians or the Pirates or the other 28 teams in Major League Baseball. And I think this is the beautiful part of this inaugural draft league. The fact that none of these kids at the beginning of the year are members of any organization, any of the Major League Baseball organizations. I think this is pretty cool. I think that talent-wise, you're going to be seeing a better brand of baseball in this draft league than you would in the New York Penn League. I think this is going to be a better brand of baseball. I think that this is going to be a more entertaining brand of baseball. Not only are these kids, look, I mean, the kids that were in the New York Penn League, they're going to be busting it, and they were busting it every single night because, you know, if you're in minor league baseball, your goal is to get out of minor league baseball and get into Major League Baseball one step at a time. And in the New York Penn League, your next step was to go to low A baseball. And then from low A to high A to double A to triple A to the show. And sometimes you don't necessarily have to take the next step. You can skip a step or two. I mean, there are plenty of times where kids have been called up from double A ball to play Major League Baseball. Plenty of times kids have gone from low A to double A, skipping over high A. High A ball to triple A, skipping over double A, although that doesn't happen very often because the jump from high A to double A is the biggest jump for any prospect because when you get to double A ball, now you're in the area where you're very close to the major leagues. And the talent level from high A to double A is off the charts different. But for this particular league, I think it's I think obviously the New York Penn League and the fact that the Indians organization was the fabric of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers is huge. And that part of it is a huge loss. And everyone in the Scrappers would agree with this. However, I think that this new league is providing some very great opportunities, not just for the fans to see a better brand of baseball, but the giveaway nights are going to be, if you're a collector, the giveaway nights are going to be pretty insane because, again, none of these kids are going to be drafted until about 2/3 of the way through the year. Now, what happens when the kids are drafted? And that's the million-dollar question, and it's going to be on a organizational basis. I mean, if let's say that one of the Scrappers' key players gets drafted by the New York Mets, and the New York Mets decide, hey, we want to sign this kid and send him to A-ball. Well, then that kid will be taken off the Scrappers roster. He'll go to A-ball. My guess is, and it's just plainly this, it's a guess. My gut feeling on this is most, if not all, of the organizations, all of the Major League Baseball teams are going to keep the kids that have been drafted that are currently playing or that will be playing this summer in the inaugural season of the Major League Baseball Draft League. Most, if not all, of the 30 Major League Baseball teams will keep their kids in this draft league for the entire year because it makes sense. It just makes sense to keep those kids there rather than send them to the spring training home and let them fiddle-faddle around down there. It would just make sense to have those kids play in this league. One of the other things that I think is going to be really interesting about this league is the fact that you're not going to see the same kid twice. This is a one-year thing. You will see a new crop of players next year and a new crop of players in 2023. You're not going to see the same face twice. It's just not going to. It's not going to take place. So I think that is going to be something that's going to be really cool. And much like in Major League Baseball, very rarely, although it did happen on some occasions, where you would see a kid coming back to play a second year in the New York Penn League. Well, the good news, I suppose, for people that like that, well, this is a familiar face. Well, the bad news is this kid has no shot at being a Major League player. I mean, you don't want to tell them that and ruin their dream, but you got no shot at being a Major League Baseball player because you're repeating the same team. There's a very small window for a minor league player to go into the major leagues, unless this person is repeating it because the organization is stacked. Repeating a minor league baseball team multiple times isn't exactly the best thing a player can do on his way to the major leagues. Now, it happens in AA and AAA, but when it happens in the lower rungs of minor league baseball, unless you've been hurt or unless there's some other circumstances, it's normally not good news for a prospect. It just isn't good news for a prospect. All right, let's get to the phone lines real quick. You're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What's going on?
Hey, Ron.
What's going on, my man?
How you been?
I'm okay. I can't complain too much. I mean, if I do, no one's going to listen, so it's all good.
Oh, come on. You know all your close friends are going to listen. That's all. Hey, did you know that Henry Aaron used to sit in the dog pound unknown to people?
Oh, yeah. He was a huge Browns fan, and he would go incognito and sit in the dog pound to watch the Browns. He was a season ticket holder for a long time. I'll tell you another guy, probably not as famous, but if you're a wrestling fan, Jerry the King Lawler is a huge Cleveland Browns fan. Okay. And he has season tickets and has gone to the dog pound incognito as well.
Yeah, I always throw that out. Some people be saying, what that has to do with the conversation? Come on, you know I'm a Cleveland Browns fan.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was an insanely large Cleveland Browns fan. I never understood why he was a Browns fan, but I think it had
that's what I say.
Ron, to be honest with you, I think it had an awful lot to do with Jim Brown because I believe those two struck up a very close relationship in the in both of when both guys were playing. I believe both of these guys struck up a really close relationship.
Yeah. Okay. And you was talking about the that handshake. Well, I was just reading an article in the paper about it. You know, they're breaking ground, but because they had to postpone because of the COVID. But the statue has already been made, right?
I believe that is the case. I believe the statue has already been made. It's just now trying to put it to its future home, which I believe it's going to be sitting near the Covelli Center over where the amphitheater is, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they like want to make surroundings, I guess maybe put some bleachers or some chairs where you can have a teachable moment, you know. And his family and his close friends have to be really proud, you know, of something that happened way back then. And I'm quite sure, like, his son is in the picture, too. And it's just a teachable moment, you know, and moving forward with things like that.
Yeah, by the way, it's the 75th anniversary of that moment will be April the 18th. I looked that up during the break. April 18th, 1946 in Montreal, Quebec. That was when Jackie Robinson hit the home run. George Shuba met him at home, played with a handshake. And I'll tell you, Ron, if that had happened in Brooklyn at Ebbets Field, there would be people still talking about it to this day. I will go a step further. There would be something in Cooperstown with that. And I'll guarantee you when 42 was made, which was a brilliant movie, but my biggest beef with that movie, and there weren't many beefs, but my biggest beef with that movie, they didn't even honor that moment, which I thought was just a terrible miss on the movie producer's part, because they should have included that in the movie.
And this should make the early morning shows, which I don't know to today, and all the rest of that stuff. It should. Hey, okay, look here. Probably won't get to all of them this week, though, but we have YSU, Indians, and the Baylor game. But YSU, man, okay. We all watched it. We all was.
Yeah, that was.
It just the special teams, man. They just had me all upset. What are you guys doing?
That's the $1,000,000 question, man. To give up a punt return for a touchdown, that's bad enough. But you also gave up a kickoff return for a touchdown.
But they didn't know what they wanted to do. You catch the ball, you down the ball. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, the special teams got an F minus. That's and if I could give a lower grade, it would probably be a triple Z minus. It was horrible. I agree with you.
But that other team was much better than what we thought, you know.
Well, I mean, but the thing that bothers me about the other team is they get their one win. Now, late yesterday, they say, hey, we got safety concerns now for our kids, so we're going to bail out of the spring football. Get out of here with that safety concerns bull crap. You got your win. That's what you wanted. Now you're saying adios. We'll see you in the fall. I hate when people do that stuff.
Oh, wow. I didn't hear about that one there. But our offense, we was in there. I mean, quarterback, he had a few misreads and interceptions, you know, but it was just one of those things where you and I and the diehard fans can say this one was in the palm, you know.
I like the fact. Listen, Ron, I like the fact that Wade threw the ball 20 some odd times on Saturday. I kind of enjoyed that aspect of it. Now, Mark made a couple of mistakes, and in the last drive, he threw a ball that was right into the hands of the DB, and he's a redshirt freshman. It's a teachable moment, and he'll know better next time. But early in the year, and I've mentioned this, early in the year, Mark Wade was barely getting 3.5 yards per attempted pass. Saturday, he was close to 7 yards per attempted pass. So he has certainly grown in the right direction this spring, and I expect him to be that much better when we play football again this fall.
And I like him, the use of his legs when need be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's a dual threat. And I think that Mark Wade is going to be a solid quarterback at Youngstown State, and I think that he will be part of the resurrection of Youngstown State University football. I expect this team, maybe not this year, this fall, but next year, to be a playoff team and possibly a championship contender before he leaves.
Yes, we have a good running back, and I also like, throwing the ball downfield, but I like use of that tight end too. You know, we somebody that's out there waiting, you know, because it seems like once the defense, the other team just get a think of what we're getting ready to do, they just kind of program, you know, how they're going to rush. They're going to rush 3, they're going to rush 4, you know. I just like us to have these outlets out there ready.
Well, I'm just glad that we know what a tight end is because one of the things that I didn't care for when Bo Pelini was running the show, we didn't throw to tight ends very often.
I know.
And that kind of bothered me. Now, not to say that Bo was a terrible coach. I don't think he was. No. I thought Bo did a really nice job with what he had. Unfortunately, one of the things that I didn't care for was the fact the tight end was non-existent in his offense.
Because sometimes a coach, and like you say, Bo's a good coach, but sometimes you can have stuff in your head and you think it's going to always work. It's like when you get the team, you see your surroundings and what you have. Now let's change it up a little bit. My way of thinking might not work with all these guys. I think that's just the way Bo was,
Yeah.
But a little different now. Hey, what do I don't know. What's with our Indians? Come on, man.
Well, all right. I'm not employed by the Indians. I don't toe the company line. Not that anyone that broadcasts for the Indians does. Certainly not Tom Hamilton. He tells it like it is, which is one of the reasons why I love him as a broadcaster. I'll say what he said yesterday. The Indians scalded the ball on a number of occasions, but unfortunately, it was right at someone. If you get no runs, 2 hits. On paper, it looks great. The Indians hit the ball very hard. Unfortunately, it was right at some people.
When we get our hits, like he said, we have to get the hits together.
Exactly. And you're going to have to string some hits together because, truth be told, other than Reyes and Ramirez, there really isn't a consistent home run threat in this lineup, which, again, how long are the Indians going to... How long are the Indians going to allow Jake Bauers to try to prove himself? And if it doesn't work and they bring up Bobby Bradley, there's another guy that has an opportunity to hit a ball out of the yard a little more frequently than some of the other guys. And I think that the left fielder, the former Twin, is someone that occasionally can hit the ball out of the yard, but there's not a lot of serious pop in terms of home run hitting in this lineup, consistent home run hitting. So the Indians are going to have to string together some hits. The other thing the Indians are going to have to do, which they've done a god-awful job of doing in the last couple of years, and other than Sunday, they've been terrible at this year, and that's hitting with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, they Bradley eventually he'll come up, but I guess because of both contracts and stuff, that's why he's going to let Bauers stay there for a while.
Well, yeah, Bauers doesn't have any options left.
Right.
So if they were to send Bauers down, they'd have to first put him through waivers, and the Indians don't want to do that because they don't want to lose or have the threat of losing Jake Bauers. And I don't blame the Indians for this. You got to find out once and for all what you got with Jake Bauers. My thing is, how long are you going to give him this chance? Do you wait until Memorial Day? Do you give him a very small rope? Do you give him the whole season? Where are the Indians at with this? I would feel a little more comfortable if I kind of sort of knew their game plan as to how long are you going to give Jake Bauers the opportunity to give himself or to make himself a major league player. Because if you're gonna waste the whole year, then I got a serious problem with this.
Well, I doubt that's going to waste the whole year now.
I hope not.
I doubt that. You see the ovation that Santana got?
Oh, my God, that was great.
I love that guy.
Carlos is one of my favorite guys. I loved the fact the fan base was able to give him that ovation. That was cool.
But like you said, we can be in love with a person and all that other good stuff. But hey, it comes down to the bottom line. And well, he produced though, but that's just the way that things goes.
Yeah.
They're still talking about with our shortstop who is up there with the Mets.
Lindor.
Lindor, yeah. They still talking about him. But
look, I mean, people need to get over that. I mean, it's
what
I'll take a quote from one of my favorite movies, The Godfather. What's done is done. I mean, it's just you got to get over it. I mean, look, the small market baseball, it sucks, and I understand that, and hopefully the Players Association and management will address this when they try to hammer out a new labor contract. I know that the Players Association, they're looking to not get a salary cap. The owners would love a salary cap, and my solution to all of this is go to the bargaining table and hammer out an agreement. And this would be the agreement that I think would fit both sides. Instead of a salary cap, you have a salary floor. So Major League Baseball owners would be ordered to pay X amount of money for your salary. Your payroll has to be X amount of dollars. Now, obviously, that would be a win for the players. How does this even out so the owners are happy with this? Well, you add a year to a player's career before he becomes a free agent. So now instead of 6 years, it's 7 years. And I'll even add a caveat for the owners. Years 1 through 4, you can pay these guys whatever amount of money you want. Now, the 4th year, let's say that you have to give them minimum $1 million, which is about $300,000 and change over the minimum salary. So by year 4, you have to give them minimum $1 million instead of minimum salary. And then 5, 6, and 7 would be your arbitration years. I think that would be a win-win for both sides. And it would also give the fans from small market teams like the Indians an extra year to enjoy players, the status of Lindor and whatnot.
Wow. Hey, okay, Ron, I'm getting ready to take you in the backyard, and I will be talking to you.
Listen, Ron, I gotta ask you a question, and this is the NFL draft. The Browns are picking 26th. Everyone now is under the assumption that quarterbacks are going to be taken 1, 2, and 3. Atlanta holds the 4th pick. You know as well as I do, the Browns are in desperate need of a go-to guy, whether it be offense or defense. There is a guy out of Florida who is arguably the best player in this draft, and that would be the tight end out of Florida. Now, I know the Browns have their tight end in Hooper, and they have a couple of other tight ends. Do you go up to number 4 in the draft to try to get your hands on this kid?
The tight end. Ooh, my goodness. What about our defense, man?
That's where if I were a Browns fan, I would say, look, I got my tight end in Hooper. If I'm going up to number 4, it's got to be for the best defensive player in the draft. And frankly, I don't know if there's a player that is worth going all the way up to number 4 for the defensive side of the ball. I don't think there is.
Okay. No, I don't know.
So now, if I were the Bills, because the Bills need a tight end like I need food. Like the fat boy here needs food, and the Bills need a tight end, I would make that deal. I would say, hey, I'll go up from number 30 to number 4. Let me give you a couple of extra first-round draft picks and whatever, and let me get this tight end out of Florida, because I think if the Bills were to get him, holy crap, this would be a game changer. But neither here nor there.
Okay, one quick 1, 2, 3 quarterbacks.
Lawrence will go 1. The kid out of BYU is going to go 2.
Okay.
And I'm guessing the kid from Alabama is going to go 3. I would rather have Fields than the kid from Alabama at 3. But that's just me. I don't think Fields or the kid from Alabama is going to be a quote franchise quarterback.
Okay. That's been talked about. Okay. Hey, okay, my friend.
All right, brother. Always a pleasure.
Take care.
330-886-0813. Jordan Taylor coming up next. We're going to talk some baseball, Scrappers baseball, with General Manager Jordan Taylor of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Stick around. More to come.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, Jordan Taylor. Jordan, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing well. Yourself, Ron?
I can't complain. I mean, it's beautiful. It's baseball weather, for gosh sakes. Speaking of, next Thursday, you guys have a job fair going on at Eastwood Field. Tell everyone a little bit about the Job Fair 2021.
Yep. So basically a chance to interview and inquire about jobs that we have, seasonal positions for the upcoming baseball season here at Eastwood Field. So it'll be April 15th from 3 till 7 p.m. You can stop in or check out on mvscrappers.com. There's information as well as an application that you can fill out and have it ready in advance if you'd like to do that. All kinds of
opportunities because, I mean, when you think about it, the game day employees, those are the ticket takers, the ushers, the concession people. There's all kinds of folks that they don't work for the organization full time, but you have a bunch of those folks working for the organization during the season.
Yeah, for sure. So in a typical year, we'll have across all those departments you mentioned about 200 people on staff. So it's certainly a big part of how we're able to operate for games and other events during the year.
All right, now how many, let me ask you, and we're speaking with Jordan Taylor, General Manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Are any of these folks going to be applying for, let's say, a grounds crew position?
We do. So we'll have we have a couple of spots available on our grounds crew. So it's a pretty cool job, especially if you have any maintenance, landscaping background. That certainly is preferable. But setting up for batting practice and getting the field ready for each game, and just managing the game, in between innings, things like that. If there's any needs on the field, that's what the grounds crew will do. And then we also have even opportunities for operations assistants to help get the stadium ready, with projects and having it set to go for each game. So there's certainly a wide variety of opportunities available for anybody who wants to work 15, 20 hours a week to close to 40, depending on what the position is.
One of the cool things about the grounds crew, and you made mention of this, and people don't get an opportunity to see this because normally when the gates are opened, all of the batting practice stuff has already been put into place. But the way that the grounds crew is able to knock down the places where people are supposed to stand during batting practice, they have the protection of the grass. You've got the batting cage that's wheeled out there. You've got the L screen that's wheeled out there. It's a really cool process for those that get an opportunity to see this. Now, the one downside to working on the ground screw is you got to deal with a tarp when it rains, and that is a pain in the ass to deal with, having been someone who has pulled a tarp hundreds of times throughout the minor league tenure. That tends to be a bit of a pain, but everything else is pretty cool.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. So it's even one of my big problem areas is still the tarp after all these years. So it's always difficult when you're having to roll that out multiple times a game. But hopefully we get with some good luck on that end and don't have to do it a whole lot.
Jordan, for those that are not able to be at Eastwood Field on April the 15th, is there a way for them to apply for some of these positions?
Yep, certainly. So if you go on mvscrappers.com, there's the applications there. You can fill that out. Certainly call our office with any interest in applying for a position or stopping by our office. The main office isn't open, but the ticket office is. So if you just go up to that ticket window and say you're interested in applying for a job, we can get you an application right there.
Jordan, let's talk a little bit about season ticket sales and game day tickets that are on sale. What is the season ticket sales been like for the Scrappers? And we obviously ask this because this will be year number 1, the inaugural year of the Major League Baseball Draft League. The Scrappers are no longer an Indians affiliate. To the season ticket holders, has there been an issue with that?
So far, no. We've had a really good renewal rate on our season tickets. Same thing from a sponsor standpoint. The general consensus is everybody's happy that we have a franchise, which not everybody in the situation we were was as fortunate to end up in the spot we did. So I think that it's been overall a positive, and I think having that Major League Baseball connection is certainly a plus. And each day we're selling a number of ticket packages. So I think as we continue to get closer and the weather breaks, and always we see a nice uptick when Major League Baseball starts. So we're at that point right now, and kind of in the home stretch as far as the ticket packages go.
Is there a sense of, I don't want to say wonder, but is there a sense of, let's try this product out, much like when the Scrappers were a brand new franchise in 1999, if I'm not mistaken, 98-99, when they were a brand new franchise and everyone was buying into season tickets and doing some advertising, whether it be an outfield billboard, a place on the dugout roof. Is there a sense that there are some people that are looking to see if this product and this league is something that is going to be every bit as worthwhile as investing in the Scrappers? Do you sense that with some of the season ticket holders and some of the businesses that are continuing their relationship with you, Jordan?
A little bit. I think some more on the season ticket side. Just to especially if they were tuned in to wanting to see Cleveland Indians specific prospects. I think that's the group who falls in the category you're mentioning. I think a lot of sponsors and the conversations are they want to support a community asset, and they're just happy that we're still going to be here and having not just the Scrappers games at YSU, high school, and there's going to be a couple hundred events at the ballpark, all told. So it gives advertisers a great opportunity to get exposure. So that's all still there, and honestly, most people or more of the comments we've had are you still having fireworks nights and buck nights? And that tends to be much more of the concern that people have in terms of coming out to the games, for this season. So we are doing all those things, and it's still going to be a great baseball product as well.
You know, I've often said, and we're speaking with Jordan Taylor, general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, I often said that minor league baseball, it wasn't about the organization affiliation per se. It was more about the giveaways. It was more about what you were planning on doing during the course of the year that was going to give fans either a financial break with ticket packages or a financial break with some of the snacks that you have in the concession stands. And the fact that you're going to be doing Fireworks Friday, which has been a staple for Scrappers baseball, and some of the other things that you guys have done on a year-in, year-out basis, one would imagine that your fan base is going to be very satisfied with that.
Yeah, we think so. We try to keep it to look as consistent as it was in previous years, and you know the feedback we're getting as well is, you know, I think as we continue to, you know, get more and more people vaccinated, and as we roll into the summer months, people are really looking forward to getting out and spending a night out, and I think we're going to, you know, provide a great option for fans to come out to, you know, over the summer and be really one of the first venues that's open on a, you know, on a larger scale.
Jordan Taylor, general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. I made mention of this in the first hour, and I think it's a gut feeling for me. I don't know if this is a fact. Maybe it is. You can enlighten all of us. I made mention that the draft will take place this year about 2/3 of the way through the season, the inaugural season of the draft league. Has it been announced yet that the major league teams are going to allow whoever's been drafted that is taking part in the draft league to stay in the draft league for the remainder of the year? Or is it the process of a team-by-team basis in terms of what they're going to do?
Yeah, I think the goal long range is what you hit on at first is, you know, that these players will just stick it out, you know, through the last, you know, 2.5 weeks of the season. I think this year, I would say most likely you're looking at a case-by-case basis within each organization, and even, you know, player by player, depending on, you know, how much they've played between their college season and you know the draft league season, and you know how much more they want them playing before they get to instructional league. But the other thing that's happened as part of this whole reorganization, you know, in terms of the draft itself, last year the draft was only 5 rounds. Moving forward, starting this year, it's only 20. Before last year, it was, you know, 40 rounds, and you know, even a few years before that was 50 rounds. So there are going to be a lot of players who traditionally get drafted that aren't going to get that opportunity. So they're still going to need a place to play. So I think we'll be a avenue for them to play, and then also, you know, potentially then get signed, you know, once our season ends.
Jordan, you made mention the last question of the hope that everyone gets vaccinated. And when we are able to get to that point where everyone who is interested in being vaccinated can be vaccinated, hopefully that opens up the floodgates for everyone to come to Eastwood Field, and we can have sellouts after sellouts, and in a perfect world with people not wearing a mask. What is the latest in terms of how we will start the season in a couple of months?
Yes, so we received some guidance yesterday on some changes. So before yesterday, we were able to open at about 30% or at 30% capacity, which roughly was 2,000 or so people a game. Yesterday, there was some consolidation of the orders, and it appears as if, and we're getting clarification of how this will work for stadiums, is there's not a capacity limit any longer in the state of Ohio, but there are some, you know, restrictions in terms of keeping a certain distance between seats and so forth. So based on what I've read and heard, our capacity will go above that 30% as of, you know, today. but we won't be at certainly at full capacity at this point until we get that continue to get percentages higher, and I think as we get into the summer months, it's more and more realistic that we're going to have closer to capacity allowable in the ballpark.
Is it safe to say that with this new order that, and this is going to be very interesting how you guys do this, but would it be safe to say, let's say you skip a seat and skip a row? So row 5, seat 10, row 5, seat 8, row 5, seat 6, row 5, seat 4, row 7, seat 4, row 7, seat 6, row 7, seat 8, row 7, seat 10 would be seats that everyone can sit in. Is that the pattern that you guys are looking at doing?
Something like that. So the other point that came out yesterday as well is now groups of 10 can be together, which before it was only, I think, groups of 4. So that opens up ability to cluster people a little bit more than we were intending to, at least for those early games. So that the nice thing is we have, in our ticket system, we have an algorithm that we can kind of put whatever the guidance is, and it'll skew out the stadium for us. So then, we can have everything available for fans to kind of pick and choose, where they want to sit based on, what the current guidelines are. So that'll make it in some ways a little bit easier when picking out your seat. You'll be able to see exactly what's available and knock it out. And we'll have, sections of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, available all throughout the ballpark. But there'll be some space between, each of those groupings.
One of the things I'm looking forward to is the fact that the games are going to be heard on ysnlive.com. I'll be doing the home games when the Scrappers are on the road. This is one of the COVID things that we'll be dealing with this year. When the Scrappers are on the road, it will be the home radio broadcaster who will provide the play-by-play for both his or her team and the visiting team. Which is it's a COVID issue thing, but at least for this year, not only will you hear me doing the play-by-play, you'll also be hearing the play-by-play announcer for West Virginia, State College, Williamsport, Frederick, and Trenton doing games when the Scrappers go to each venue.
Correct. Yep. So it's just a way to, at the time when decisions were being made was to, try to limit travel as much as possible this year. So that was one of the ideas that was, come up with still to, make sure each game was broadcast and give, fans access to hear each game live.
All right, so a couple of things that we need to talk about, and we're speaking with Jordan Taylor, General Manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. The last time we spoke, you made mention of the opportunity, or at least the possibility, of the manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers being a known name. I've been on pins and needles with this one. Have we gotten any further as to the announcement that can be made as to who the manager is?
Yeah, I'll find out tomorrow when we can make the announcement, but we're definitely on that same track. And then I'm just, well, not I'm waiting, but there's one more manager in the league that they are waiting to secure, and they were hoping to make, kind of a group announcement with every team doing it at the same point. So we're waiting on one last one, and, once we get that, I think everything will be announced. But ours is secured for the season.
All right, let me ask you, and you obviously don't have to answer this if you don't want to drop us a hint. Is this person a former Indian?
Yes. That'll be my last clue.
That's it. That's all I wanted to know. I didn't want to play 1,000 questions with Jordan Taylor. I just wanted to know if it was a former Indian. So this will make things pretty interesting. I have a name in mind. We'll see if it matches when the announcement comes through. We're speaking with Jordan Taylor. He is the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. All right, concession-wise, always interesting year in, year out to see the different brands of foods that each minor league baseball team brings to the table. Are you guys doing anything different in terms of bringing out some new concessions for the fans at Eastwood Field this year?
Yeah, I think we will. We'll see some things that a little bit different. The one thing from an operations standpoint that's going to be a little different. This is another one of those COVID as we went through the off season is we are going to have an app that you can order concessions from and either have a pickup window or have your food delivered to you all throughout the ballpark. So that's something that's going to be brand new, and the hope is that keeps the lines a little bit shorter and really adds to fans' enjoyment that they don't have to wait in line for concessions if they aren't interested in doing that. And we're looking forward to that enhancement to the ballpark, and we should have a couple new items, but we are really trying to keep things streamlined as much as possible. We want people kind of in and out of the concessions as quick as possible, at least for the first part of this year. So we'll have a couple new things, but the biggest, I'd say, enhancement is the quick service and delivery service that we have.
A couple folks have asked me this question, and I'm kind of wondering myself: is there going to be an AllStar game amongst the best of the best in this inaugural season?
I don't. It won't be this year, but I do know that's on the agenda moving forward.
All right, and finally, and we're speaking with Jordan Taylor, the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Because of COVID, the Tokyo Olympics was moved to this summer. Baseball is going to be an Olympic sport, and that kind of puts things in a little bit of a competition with the draft league, considering the Olympic team is going to be filled with amateur athletes, much like this inaugural draft league season. Do you sense any of the kids that would have been members of this inaugural season to be part of the Olympic baseball team this year?
It's a good question. I haven't really seen and you may have seen it, what the initial invite list has been for that. I don't know if they're going more with older minor league players or if they're going with college, like the old system with just the strictly college age kids.
Yeah, one would question. I mean, if they're going with minor league kids, established minor league kids that have not made the major leagues yet, that would probably be the best scenario for the draft league, because then that would leave all of the, quote, amateurs, the draft eligible amateurs, to take part in this league.
Yeah, so I mean, if that's the case, then I'd say it wouldn't have an impact. But if potentially they're looking at, juniors in college, that would be draft eligible playing, it may knock out a handful of players for sure.
Jordan, before we let you go, game times for the upcoming season at Eastwood Field, have they been announced?
Yep. So we are similar to past years. So Monday through Saturdays we're 7:05, and Sundays are at 4:05.
All right. So Monday through Saturday, 7:05 at Eastwood Field. Sundays at 4:05. No day games during during Monday through Saturday this year.
Nope, I don't think so. Depending on sometimes it'll be an adjustment in the minor league season. Traditional minor league season, they always ask for that last game to finish early, so players can get home. So we'll see. We may make a slight adjustment to a game at the end, but I think we're pretty set with everything. Other than that,
well, given the fact that this is a pretty geographically friendly league. I mean, West Virginia is 3 hours from Mahoning Valley. Williamsport State College, 3.5, 4 hours away. Frederick is about 3.5, 4 hours away. Trenton is the only team that is a distance, with about 6.5 hours away. But Trenton only comes here one time.
Right. Yep, and we only go there once as well. So compared to the New York Penn League, the travel is much more appealing from a player and manager standpoint.
How is, and I got to ask this, because one of the cool things about the Scrappers year in, year out has been the fact that you have been able to get a bunch of families to house a lot of the kids that were previous members of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, and that was just a great idea that hopefully is going to continue in 2021. How is that interest level from the members of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers family?
Yeah, so interest has been good. So that initially was our plan, was to go the host family route, and then Major League Baseball recently had just said they would prefer players staying all in one spot. So we're going to have to shift gears just for this season, away from the host families and into more of a hotel apartment style setting for this year.
Is that COVID related, Jordan?
It is. Yep. And just for I think it was just easier just to keep everybody in one spot where they knew where they were each, throughout the whole summer.
I'm sure you are just as excited as I am to finally get rid of the masks, get rid of all the rigmarole about this, and hopefully one day, very, very soon, knock on wood, get back to normal.
I sure hope so. Sooner the better from my standpoint.
I hear you on that one. Jordan, as always, a pleasure. We will talk soon.
Yep, thank you, Ron.
You got it. Jordan Taylor, he is the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, joining me, although I'm big enough to say us, I guess. I'm fat enough to be plural. Joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. We'll take a timeout, be back with more as we open up the phone lines. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open, 330-886-0813. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. Back in a bit. Stick around.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Right now is a great time to get more for your trade-in at Tri-State Ford and drive home in a new or pre-owned vehicle. Choose from our great selection of new Ford models or pre-owned vehicles. Plus, get the Tri-State Ford Advantage, including a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty and more. At Tri-State Ford, we'll pay you top dollar for your trade, but you don't have to purchase one of ours to sell us yours.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy-efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
It's storm season,
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
and Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air,
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
online,
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
on social media, and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer goes the extra mile to bring you the largest selection of vehicles at one convenient location. With guaranteed credit approval, I will find you the right vehicle and the right financing options for you. I am ready to go the extra mile to show you why no other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. And like my fellow Leetonia grad Tracy Bryden says, the finance department, second to none. They are going to give you a solid deal without paying an astronomically high interest rate. Obviously, that's just one of three reasons why you should look into Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown if you're in the market for a brand new or slightly used automobile. The other two reasons, they have a great sales department. They're not going to sell you a lemon. That's for sure. Those folks are fantastic at what they do. And you need a great service department because when you purchase a car, inevitably, whether it's tire rotation, an oil change, God forbid you put a dent in your car or you get into an accident and you need your car fixed, that service department is pretty outstanding over at Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown as well. So 3 great reasons to make sure that before you put pen to paper and sign your life away, or at least 6 to 7 years of your life away, you definitely need to give Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown an opportunity to earn your business. You will not be sorry, believe me when I tell you. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Many, many thanks to Jordan Taylor from the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. He's the general manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, joining us in the 1 o'clock hour. Hopefully everyone heard that interview. It really dawned on me when he talked about the possibility of minor league kids that have already been drafted and playing in the minor leagues that would be partaking in Team USA. That may very well be the case. And if that is the case, then clearly it would not conflict interest-wise with the inaugural season of the Major League Baseball Draft League, to which the Scrappers are one of the 6 franchises to take part in this league. Again, if you are interested in becoming a partial or a full season ticket holder, you can certainly call the Scrappers 330-505-0000. That's 330-505-0000. And you can certainly ask about not only the opportunity to purchase season tickets, whether it's partial or full season tickets. Also, if you're a business owner, the opportunity does exist for you to spend your advertising dollars, whether it be an outfield billboard, maybe some real estate in their scoreboard, maybe some real estate on one of the dugout roofs. It's definitely something that is worthwhile. It'll certainly get some bang for your buck in terms of advertising. You definitely want to check that out. Call the Scrappers at 330-505-0000. Coming up at the top of the hour, we will chat with the skipper of the YSU baseball program, and that would be Dan Bertolini. Consider this. 27 games have been played this year. Penguins are off to their best start since 2005. That's the last time the Penguins were above 500 after 27 games. This is a good start. Solid start for the Penguins. They're 9-7. That puts them firmly in third place in the Horizon League. Keep in mind, top 4 teams will go to the Horizon League tournament, where it's a double elimination tournament. At 9-7, Penguins are off to their best start in the Horizon League in 13 years. The last time the Penguins got off to a start as good as or better than the start they have, 2008. And they have earned a series victory over Wright State and UIC in the same year for the first time in 15 years. Last time this happened, 2006. So some really, really good stuff going on with the Youngstown State University baseball team. They took 3 out of 4 from UIC. Penguins are 1 game in back of Milwaukee as they open up a 4-game series with the second-place Milwaukee team this weekend in Wisconsin. So Penguins have an opportunity when the 4-game series ends on Sunday. Penguins have a really good opportunity to be in second place in the Horizon League, which would be huge. And again, the top 4 teams, this is a 7-team league. You've got Wright State, Milwaukee, Youngstown State, UIC, Northern Kentucky, Detroit Mercy, and Oakland, I believe, are the no, I'm not Detroit Mercy, IUPUI, or Purdue Fort Wayne. My apologies. Purdue Fort Wayne, Oakland, Northern Kentucky, UIC, YSU, Milwaukee, and Wright State. Those are the 7 teams. Top 4 teams go to the Horizon League tournament, which is going to be held the same way the first round of the NCAA tournaments. It'll be a field of 64. You will have 16 different sites. Top 16 teams in the nation will host a NCAA playoff format where there will be 4 teams in each region, and you'll have a double elimination tournament. The first place team, the first seeded team, will play the 4th seeded team. The 2nd seeded team will play the 3rd seeded team. The winners will go on to play in the championship round or the winner's bracket. The losers will go on play in the loser's bracket. Whoever loses twice, you're out. So essentially it'll be 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. The winners will play each other. The losers will play each other. The loser in the game, in the loser's bracket, will be knocked out. The loser in the winner's bracket will then move into the loser's bracket to take on the one team that's left in the loser's bracket. They'll play each other. Then there will be one team left that has 1 loss, one team left that will be undefeated, and the first team that loses 2 games is out of the tournament. So bottom line in this, whether it be the Horizon League tournament or the first round of the NCAA tournament, you want to win your 2 games. If you're the number 1 seed, you got to beat the 4 seed and then take on the winner and beat the winner of 2 versus 3. And then you're automatically in a really good position where you're undefeated, and the only way you don't move on is if you were to lose 2 games in a row. That would be the only way that you don't move on in the tournament. In the Horizon League, that would be moving on to the NCAA tournament. If you're in the NCAA tournament, the only way that you don't move on to the super regionals is if you were to lose 2 games in a row. And it would have to be 2 games in a row because you're facing off against a team that already has 1 loss. So the undefeated team has a great advantage where all they have to do is win 1 out of 2 games. You win 1 of the 2 games, you're in. If you win the first game, there's no need to play the second game. The other team has 2 losses. You move on to the next round. So the Penguins right now, getting into the tournament, you got to finish first, second, third, or fourth in the Horizon League. And right now, the Penguins are in third place in the Horizon League. Right now, they are currently 9-7. 1 game better than fourth place Northern Kentucky. 2 games better than fifth place UIC. If the tournaments were to be held today, the tournaments would be at Wright State. This is another aspect of the Horizon League tournament. Whoever wins the regular season championship will host the Horizon League tournament. Right now, Wright State. They're 13-3. By the way, all 3 of those league losses courtesy of YSU. Wright State is currently 3 games better than Milwaukee, 4 games better than Youngstown State, 5 games better than Northern Kentucky, 6 games better than UIC, 7 games better than Purdue-Fort Wayne, and 10 games better than Oakland. If Wright State wins the league, they host the tournament. If YSU were to win the league, they would host the tournament. Now, for YSU to win the league, they would have to have the best record in the league. They cannot be tied with Wright State. If they were tied with Wright State has the tiebreaker advantage, and that is the better record between the 2 teams. Wright State swept Youngstown State in Dayton a few weeks back. Penguins took 3 out of 4 from Wright State in Niles, but that wasn't good enough to even the record. So Wright State does hold the tiebreaker advantage. They are 5-3 against the Penguins, where the Penguins are 3-5 against Wright State. So the only way Youngstown State would win the Horizon League is if they have a better record than Wright State. We made mention Wright State doesn't have a lot of really tough opponents left on their schedule. Unfortunately, Milwaukee does not play Wright State 8 times this year. They only play them 4 times. So Wright State is really not going to get challenged all that much. So it would be a shock if Wright State were to lose the league championship. And if you're Youngstown State, look, that would be the cherry on top of a perfect Sunday if the Penguins were to win the division. What Youngstown State, and I'm sure Dan Bertolini will talk about this at the top of the hour, what Youngstown State needs to be concerned with is making sure that they are still in the top 4. And for Youngstown State, a golden opportunity for the Penguins to take over second place in the Horizon League, as they have a 4-game series coming up with Milwaukee. The game 1 of the series will be Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock, doubleheader on Saturday beginning at 1 o'clock, and then a single game on Sunday beginning at 1 o'clock. Then the Penguins will travel to Northern Kentucky and take on the 4-seed Northern Kentucky Norse, their 4-seed for right now. It would be a single game beginning at 12 noon on Friday the 16th, doubleheader on Saturday the 17th beginning at 12 noon, and then a single game on Sunday the 18th beginning at 12 noon. Penguins return back home to take on Oakland. That'll be April 23rd, 24th, and 25th at Eastwood Field. As a matter of fact, there are 12 home games left in the 2021 regular season. 12 home games left. Penguins will be home to Oakland April 23rd, 24th for 2 games, and the 25th for a single game. Penguins will be home to the Mastodons of Purdue-Fort Wayne on May the 7th, single game on May the 7th, doubleheader on May the 8th, single game on Sunday, May the 9th, and the Penguins will be home for the final 4 games of the regular season, and this could very well determine second place, at least for right now. It could determine second place. It could certainly have playoff implications. Penguins will be hosting Milwaukee in Eastwood Field on April the 21st. A single game on Friday, May the 21st, I beg your pardon. Friday, May the 21st. Doubleheader on Saturday, May the 22nd. And a single game that ends the regular season on Sunday, May the 23rd. So the Penguins do have some home games left, 12 home games to be exact. But the focus right now for the Penguins, for the baseball team at least, is this weekend. Penguins will be on the road this weekend in a battle for second place with Milwaukee. Milwaukee is currently 10-6 in the Horizon League. The Penguins are one game in back of Milwaukee at 9-7. And hopefully, knock on wood, Penguins will take 3 out of 4 from Milwaukee and get out of Dodge with a one-game lead on Milwaukee for second place in the Horizon League. We'll catch up with Dan Bertolini coming up at the top of the hour. Made mention early on in the 12 o'clock hour, the All-State basketball teams were announced for Divisions 2 and 1 for the 2020-2021 high school boys basketball season. The lone person that gets a Division I honor from our area, honorable mention All-Ohio Todd Simons from Austintown Fitch. Division II, a trio of kids getting special mention. Troy Metzger from Struthers, Sherrod Taylor from Cheney, and Cole Daly from East Liverpool. A couple of players that get honorable mention, actually a quartet of players. Xavier Green from East Liverpool, Jackson Hendershot from West Branch, Aiden Slocum from Struthers, and Drew Weir from Salem. Those are the kids that were named honorable mention All-State in Division II. So not really a bunch of players mentioned for any honor whatsoever. There were no first team or second team or third team for that matter. We were shut out in all three teams. We got special mention and honorable mention in Divisions 2 and 1. So congratulations to those players. A job well done. Mr. Basketball, I believe, will be announced tomorrow, courtesy of the OHSAA. They should announce that tomorrow. So there you go. All right, 330-886-0813. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. Also made mention, fresh off their victory over Youngstown State, Western Illinois decided to close out the remainder of the 2021 spring football season. And they used the excuse, and it's purely that, an excuse, out of concern for the safety and well-being of the student athletes. Western Illinois is opting out of the remainder of the 2021 spring football season. Yeah, just after beating YSU in the only win of the season for Western Illinois, and then you decide to opt out. Come on. Tell it like it is. You opted out because you have no shot at winning another game this year, so you opted out. You got your one win. Adios. We'll see you in the fall. I am so glad that Youngstown State doesn't have a bunch of losers for coaches. I'm glad. I'm glad that Youngstown State's not pulling this loser mentality and using as an excuse to call off the spring season. I am very happy that Youngstown State, that Doug Phillips and his staff aren't doing something this hypocritical. And it is. It is absolutely hypocritical. Don't give me this crap out of the concern of safety and well-being of its student athletes. Look, call it as you see it. You got your win. That was the only one you were going to get, if any, this year. You got your win. Now you're going to be off the stage, and you'll go back in the fall. Don't give me this crap about the safety and well-being of your student athletes. That's garbage. That's garbage. It's hypocritical. It's garbage. Because if this was the case, then why play the game on Saturday? You had the safety and well-being of the student athletes on Saturday. By the way, Saturday's game between Youngstown State and Western Illinois was the only game played in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. So you could have very easily sat back and said, hey, out of the safety and wellness of our student athletes, we're going to cancel this game and bow out for the rest of the 2021 spring football season. Did you do that? No, you didn't. Why didn't you do that? Because Western Illinois' only chance at winning a game this year came on Saturday night against Youngstown State. You got the win. You got what you wanted to get. Now you're out. And you're using this as an excuse. And that's all that is. That's all this is an excuse. You got your win. Now you're happy. And you're going to move on to the fall. And that's why Western Illinois will always be a bottom feeder in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. Like I said, I'm grateful that the university cares enough about its football program that they're not going to pull off the sham of all shams and say, oh, we're out of the spring football, but we care about our kids. No, you're out of spring football because the only game that was winnable for your program was Saturday night against Youngstown State. And now you got it, so now you're until the fall. I'm calling your ass out on that, Western Illinois. Don't hand me this other garbage. I'm calling you out on that. And everyone in the Missouri Valley Conference should know this. Like I said, I'm just glad Youngstown State doesn't have a bunch of quitters in their coaching staff. They'll play football this week, as long as there's no COVID issues. Youngstown State will play against Missouri State, and then on the 17th of April, Youngstown State will play against North Dakota, and not because Youngstown State has an opportunity to get into the playoffs. No, there's no chance. But Youngstown State's not going to stiff the rest of the league like Illinois State and Western Illinois just did. Youngstown State's going to finish what they started. Because we actually care about our football. Just if you're a fan of Western Illinois, you got to be looking at this going, okay, yeah, that's safety and well-being of the student athletes. Yeah, gotcha. 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll chat with Dan Bertolini. He's the manager of the YSU baseball program. Speaking of baseball, some games last night. I was at Crestview. I had a JV game between Salem and Crestview. Crestview's baseball field, beautiful baseball field, and it's right across the street from the school. Beautiful, beautiful facilities, but man, does it get dark there pretty quickly because of a really, really long first inning. I think we were only able to get 5 innings in before it got very difficult to see the baseball. Toward the end of the 5th inning, I wasn't able to see the ball coming off the bat all that often, or all that well, I should say. Not that it made a difference for me umpiring the game. I didn't make any mistakes this time around. There were no close plays for me to screw up. What can I tell you? But if it's not sunny there, it can get really dark there pretty quickly. So because of that, we had to call the game because of darkness after 5 innings. But some good baseball played in the area. Fitch is now 4-0 on the campaign. They shut out Cleveland Benedictine last night, 5-0. Canfield got a victory over Newton Falls, a 5-inning, 11-1 victory over Newton Falls. Stop if you've heard this. Canfield and Fitch, when they play each other, oh my goodness, is that going to be some great baseball being played by two of the better baseball teams, at least in the early part of the season, in the 2021 campaign. Mason Robeson, a 10-strikeout, no-walk performance, a shutout win over Lowellville. Jackson Milton 2-0 on the campaign. They get a 1-0 victory over Lowellville. Just a great pitching performance between Robeson and Palumbo. Ricky Palumbo was the tough luck loser. He only gave up 2 hits. He struck out 7, wound up walking 1. Unfortunately, he was the losing pitcher in this game. Jackson Milton scored their one and only run in the bottom of the 4th inning as they beat Lowellville in North Jackson yesterday. Those two teams will play each other on the back end of the home and home. Poland beat Jefferson 14-8. Those two teams will play up in Jefferson this afternoon. The JV game was yesterday in Jefferson. It will be played today in Poland. Niles got a victory over Hubbard. They scored 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning to get the job done. Western Reserve is 3-1 in the campaign. They get their opening league win over Waterloo 4-1. Keep an eye on West Branch. I've been saying this for the last couple of days. West Branch is a very sneaky good baseball team this year. They're 4-1. They blew out Southeast, a 5-inning mercy run, a 10-run mercy roll victory over Southeast, 12-2. They scored 6 times in the bottom of the 5th inning to go from 6-2 to a mercy roll 12-2 victory. Salem doubled up Crestview 6-3. In that game, Carter Blakeman hit 2 bombs for Salem. He wound up going 3 for 4 with 3 RBI as Salem scored 4 times in the bottom of the 1st inning, and they doubled up Crestview last night 6-3. I had the JV game over at Crestview. McDonald 5-inning victory over Sebring. Mineral Ridge knocked off Springfield. That's a big win for the Rams. As Mineral Ridge, they defeated Springfield 5-1. Mark Bunch with a 1-hitter. So congratulations to the Mineral Ridge Rams. They only had 3 hits in the contest. They took advantage of 3 miscues by Springfield to get the victory at Mineral Ridge yesterday. I believe those two teams will play today at Springfield. Columbiana went over to East Palestine. Now, Palestine has a really nice complex just off State Route 14 on your way to East Palestine. They have a really nice complex. Columbiana got a combined no-hitter yesterday as they beat the Bulldogs 13-0. Columbiana's 2-0 now in the EOAC. 2-1 overall. Palestine drops to 0-3 on the campaign. All right, we'll take a timeout. On the other side, we will hear from the manager, the skipper, if you will, of the SSYSU Penguins. The YSU Penguins baseball manager, Dan Bertolini, coming up next. It's a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit wrswealthadvisors.com. Good luck, athletes.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy efficient experts.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Joining me, I should say. Why do I keep saying us? I am big enough to be plural, but that's neither here nor there. Joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, the manager of the YSU baseball program, Mr. Dan Bertolini. Dan, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
It's great to be a Penguin, especially when you can get 3 out of 4 from the UIC club and put yourself in a sole possession of third place. That was an outstanding series win.
Yeah, it was a really fun weekend. There was some wild weather on Friday with show up to the field and there's snow on it, but I thought we did a good job Friday and some tough conditions, and then found a way to come up and win on Saturday.
Dominic Bucco just named the Horizon League Batter of the Week, and why not? 8 hits and 13 at-bats, a .615 batting average, a slugging percentage of .1308, 2 homers, a double, a triple, and 13 at-bats this past weekend. Correct me if I'm wrong, Skip. He went 6 for 8 in the doubleheader on Saturday or on Friday, which was absolutely incredible.
He had a huge weekend for us. He was absolutely on fire. He came up in some big situations for us, and really, I was really happy for him because it's been a little bit of a struggle early on, and just found a way. He's a great hitter. A law of averages tells you if you're a 350 hitter and you go in a little bit of a slump, you're going to find a way to come back and have a great weekend. And he had a huge weekend, big boost for our offense, and that was really set the tone for the offense this weekend.
Skip, you've been around the game long enough to recognize this, and I've been saying this for years. Baseball is probably the only sport where everything tends to even itself out by the end of a year. I'll use the Indians for a good example. Yesterday, even though they got shut out, and they only got 3 hits, if I'm not mistaken, there were a lot of hard-hit balls in yesterday's game. Unfortunately for the Tribe, right into the mitt of an outfielder or right at someone. Same thing could be said early on in the campaign for the Penguins. There were a lot of hard-hit balls in the regular season, or in the first part of the regular season, where they were outs. But sooner or later, the pendulum swings the opposite direction. A duck snort here, an excuse me dribbler up the middle that has seeing eyes here, and all of a sudden you get these bloops and bleeders that turn into base hits.
Yeah, and I thought this weekend was a good example of it. Friday it was very cold, and we faced a really good pitcher. Jacob Key did a great job against us. Found a way to come through in the clutch when we needed some big hits. So actually, Bucko had a huge hit in that game with a RBI triple to tie the game, and then scored on a sac fly. But in the second game of the doubleheader, I bet we probably, the wind was blowing in. It was really cold, sort of similar to the Indians game yesterday. And we probably hit 5 or 6 balls right on the screws that most days are doubles or home runs, and they were kind of hung up in the wind and got caught. And then you turn around the next day, and the goal is to hit the ball hard. And if you can do that consistently, then you're gonna be just fine throughout the year. And I thought we carried that over into Saturday, more favorable conditions, and we hit the ball really hard, and good things happened. And that's why we scored 29 runs in a doubleheader against statistically the best, one of the best, if not the best, pitching staffs in the conference.
Dan Bertolini, the manager of the YSU baseball team, joining me as he does every Tuesday at this time on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. It's a great day to be a Penguin. First time in 16 years the Penguins are above 500 through 27 games. Skip, this is the makings of a tremendous baseball season for the Penguins this year.
Yeah, we've played great baseball. I think it really started last year, with this group kind of setting the tone for where we thought we could be. And this has been the toughest stretch of our schedule, even though we played a lot of it at home. We've played this will be the number 1, number 2, and number 4 teams in the Horizon League in consecutive weekends with back-to-back Horizon League weekends against Wright State, and then played UIC, and now on to Milwaukee, who's in second place. So I kind of told you back after we finished the IPFW series, I said we're going to see what this team's made out of, and I think you're seeing it. They're confident. It's a tough group. We've got contributions from up and down the lineup and up and down our pitching staff, and there's just a real belief that no matter what the score is, we're going to have an opportunity to win games, and just excited to kind of see where we're at here in a few weeks, because this is a good stretch of games for us. It can be challenging next 2 weekends on the road, and looking forward to continuing to play good baseball.
Yeah, you're taking on second place Milwaukee this week, and then Northern Kentucky, who's currently in 4th place in the Horizon League. You'll be playing them down in Highland Heights, Kentucky. So these next 8 games, much like the series against Wright State and UIC, where you went 6-2 at Eastwood Field, this is a golden opportunity to continue to spread the message that YSU baseball is a force to be reckoned with in 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an unbalanced schedule this year because of COVID, and I think, by far we have the most challenging go. UIC and Milwaukee only had to face Wright State once this year. And just looking at the scheduling, the 4 weeks in a row, playing the top teams in the Horizon League, it's definitely been a challenge. But we feel that we're the best team in the Horizon League, and we just have to go out every day and prove that this is something that we want and something that we know.
I've run out of adjectives to describe the ace of this staff, Colin Floyd. He was named yesterday as a national top 30 pitcher by Division I baseball, and I made mention of this on the show earlier today. Colin Floyd is very quickly making a name for himself to the point that Prep Baseball Report may not have to go very far to get the next Mahoning Valley scrapper. Colin Floyd has a really good chance, if he continues pitching the way that he has pitched in this 2021 campaign, he has a very good chance to be a part of this draft league.
Well, I really think what he's doing is has been it's been phenomenal, and you just the hard work and the he had Tommy John surgery a couple years back, and having last year being canceled, he's been the leader of our program here for a long time. I think he's got a .6 ERA in conference. He gives us a great opportunity to win every time he's out there. You just feel like if you can get a run or two for him, you're going to be in great shape. I think really he sets the tone for our staff, and I think they were just tired of giving him the Horizon League Pitcher of the Week honors this week because he threw 8 innings and gave up 1 unearned run with 10 strikeouts. So how he didn't get the Horizon League Pitcher of the Week, I guess I don't know, but he's just been the most dominating pitcher that I've seen in a long time in our league.
Well, he became the YSU's all-time strikeout leader with the punch-out performance that he had against UIC. And, Skip, when you think about it, there have been some really good names that have graduated and played baseball at Youngstown State University. Dave Dravecki, Justin Thomas, 2 kids that went on to play Major League Baseball. The fact that Colin Floyd has more strikeouts than either one of those guys, that's quite a resume that's being built by Colin Floyd.
Oh, absolutely. You have Brad Hennessy, who was a first-round pick. Aaron Swenson, who was the number 1 in strikeouts, was a high draft pick as well. So he's in great company. We've had some great pitchers over the years, and he'll break the all-time starts this week when he gets his start against Milwaukee. So there's a lot of guys on our roster that are going to go down in the record books this year, and just really happy for him. I mean, you talk about someone that does things the right way. He does everything right. Works hard. He cooks on the road for our players. He brings a 50-pound bag of rice on the road and cooks meals in the hotel with an Instant Pot. I mean, he's just really, what you're looking for when you talk about a complete college baseball player and student athlete that represents Youngstown State. He's done, really so much for beyond pitching, just so much for our program over his 6 years here.
All right, 4-game series this weekend against Milwaukee. You've got a single game on Friday, a doubleheader on Saturday, a single game on Sunday. Is that the format, or have they changed this?
Nope, everything, hopefully, knock on wood, everything will stay the same, and we'll stay on schedule here with the weekend.
Are we looking at 9 innings for both games of the doubleheader, Skip, or is one of those games going to be the 7-inning game?
Yeah, always the first doubleheader is a 7 and a 9.
All right, so
if we would play 2 doubleheaders, the first one would be a 7 and a 9. The second one would be 2 9s.
All right, gotcha. So as Colin Floyd pitches the 7-inning game.
That's correct.
Yeah, and this is a stroke of genius on your guys' part as the coaching staff, because the theory in this is Colin Floyd is probably going to be able to pitch the entire game. Now, last weekend, it went extra innings, and Colin Floyd pitched the 8th inning. So you didn't have anybody coming out of the bullpen. Bottom line, your bullpen is fresh for the second game of the doubleheader.
Yeah, it's worked out really well, and that's kind of, a lot of teams have kind of been in that same situation where they're throwing probably their number 1 starter in the 7-inning game. Just gives you the best opportunity to win, saves your bullpen, and you can use some guys on Friday night, and they'll be good to go for Sunday, no problem. So we've been fortunate. I think Chad Coles had a big weekend for us this past weekend. Was able to come in the game on Friday, the second game of the doubleheader, and gave us 3 really good innings, kept us in the ball game, and then was able to come back and get a couple innings on Saturday. And he's a guy that could potentially be a starter, but really fills that role for us. So look for him to probably get a short outing on Friday if we need him, and then be able to come back and be a long reliever either on Saturday or Sunday. But yeah, there's definitely some strategy when you have the 7-inning game, and that's for sure.
Skip, let's do a scouting report on Milwaukee. This team is 10-6 in the Horizon League. They're in second place. This is the battle for second place in the Horizon League. What makes Milwaukee so successful this year?
Boy, it's hard to get a read on them. You know, they got a couple of really good arms in the top part of their rotation. You know, they have some veteran players that have been around for a long time. They've always been just really well coached. Scott does a great job with their group. They know who they are. You know, they're going to swing. They're going to try to do some damage with some baseballs. They're going to try to hit some extra base hits. They'll be, you know, very aggressive at the plate. They'll, you know, for the most part, they typically throw a lot of strikes. They got a lot of tall pitchers that kind of throw really downhill, and they'll just be great. They run a little bit. You know, they'll do some running. They won't bunt a whole lot. They're going to be more of a station-to-station team and kind of try to bang the ball around. And you know, they have 4 good guys that are going to start for them. You know, I think if we can get, you know, into the bullpen a little bit, I think that gives us a great opportunity to win some games, and hopefully our offense can continue to put some good efforts out there. But you know, it's always a dogfight. Every weekend in the Horizon League's tough, and Milwaukee's always been a very challenging team. They're always in the top, you know, 2 or 3 in the Horizon League. So it'll be a good challenge again for us this week, and I think we're well prepared for it.
Yeah, Milwaukee began the year really cold. They wound up losing a 3-game series with Kentucky out of the Southeastern Conference. They got swept in a 4-game series by Ohio University down in Athens. Ohio U out of the Mid-American Conference, and they lost their first 2 games of a 4-game series against UIC. But since that second loss to UIC, Milwaukee has run off a streak of 10 wins in their last 14 games. So whatever they found, they've been using it quite well the last 14 games.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's baseball. You know, it's baseball. You find a way. You know, if you you know, who you are towards the end of the year isn't who you were in the beginning of the season. So that's why it's tough to like really get a feel for it, just because they've had some ups and downs. They've lost some games to, you know, they lost the game last weekend to Oakland and had to come from behind late to beat Oakland in the second game of the doubleheader on Saturday. You know, they lost 3 out of 4 to Northern Kentucky, but then found a way to win the last one. So it's there hasn't been a whole lot of rhyme or reason to it, but they're going to be, you know, they're never out of the game. They're going to swing the bats and you know, put pressure on us.
Dan Bertolini, the manager of the YSU Penguins, joining me as he does every Tuesday at this time on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. Give me a couple of players that have gone under the radar this year, but have done a unbelievably great job for you during this 2021 campaign.
Well, I believe it or not, I don't know how it goes under the radar, but Phil Glasser has been, I think, one of the best, if not the best player in the conference for us. He has been, you know, really done everything when it comes to defense. He's made some, you know, highlight reel plays. He's the center of our defense. I think at one point he had like a 14-game hitting streak. He, you know, he puts quality at bats together every single at bat, and hasn't got a lot of pub for it, but I think he's hitting 360. And you know, with a lot of extra base hits. I think he was 8 for 8 on base on the weekend, on the doubleheader, and you know, just one of those guys that really put us in a good position to win. You know, every weekend. And I think the other guy that's kind of our unsung hero is Nick Caruso. You know, he's a 6th-year senior. He catches almost every game for us. He calls it a fantastic game for our staff, and he's had some massive hits for us. He had a 3-run homer on Saturday, which was huge, kind of got us into the lead and kept us. He had a bases clearing double against Wright State that kind of broke the game open for us. So just when you need something, he's there. He finds ways to impact the game no matter how it is. He'll bunt for a hit. He's got some power. Those 2 guys have really, you know, really kind of went under the radar, but have done some fantastic things for us.
You know, Skip, I couldn't agree with you more on both points, but Nick Caruso in particular he's a guy that he can call a game and not even be worried about having you or the pitching coach have that responsibility. He's one of those guys that it takes pride in knowing the strengths and weaknesses of every single pitcher on your staff. He's a wall behind home plate. He's become quite a defensive catcher for you guys during the 2021 campaign.
Yeah, and you don't realize like how much he goes through on a daily basis. And he's the first one here. He's in the either the ice bath or the hot tub. At 7:30 in the morning when we play a doubleheader. He's one of the last guys to leave. He's in the weight room every day. He's just really taken on that. I think Colin Floyd is the leader of our pitching staff, and really Caruso is the leader of our offense and our position players, and he just does a great job of, he sets a great example for what you need to do to be successful and take care of your body. And hopefully, he's going to throw the live bullpen this weekend, but he's one of the guys that, we were kind of counting on to be sort of a back-end reliever in games that he doesn't catch or potentially in games that he does. And, he had a little bit of an arm injury early in the season. So he's finally getting off the mound live today for the first time. And hopefully we'll be able to use him this weekend if we need him.
We made mention that it was going to be so cool to have the senior class back for one more go-around. And as we are now 27 games into the 2021 campaign, you're underclassmen. I don't think there is a better example to follow than the current seniors that you have for YSU this year. I think that this is long term. I think this is just going to be a great example and an imprint that is going to be left, a positive imprint for your underclassmen on how to police the clubhouse and how to be a leader in your senior leadership. You have a tremendous amount of senior leadership this year.
Yeah, we're very fortunate, and then that's really when you can get players to stay for, 5 or 6 years with Joel Haig and, Colin Floyd, Gary Clift. I mean, those guys have been part of our program. Gary was my first recruit. He's been here for, 5 years with a redshirt year from Eastern Michigan. So, these guys have been part of this program for a long time. They take a lot of pride in it. They've seen the ups and downs. They see where we are now, and they've just been a great example for our underclassmen to really set the stage for sustained success for our program.
All right, the battle for second place this weekend. What do we have pitching matchup-wise, Skip?
So we're going to stay with, Colin Clark's going to throw on Friday. Colin Floyd will throw Game 1 on Saturday. John Snyder will throw Game 2, and Nick Perez will throw the fourth game of the series.
Nick Perez has been getting an awful lot of Game 4 assignments. Am I correct on that one, Skip?
Yeah. He's kind of went between the Game 3 and Game 4 starter. We moved Snyder up into the 3 spot because of the scheduling, and then we just decided to keep him there. So he threw Game 4 last weekend. He gave us a good start, kind of got tired there in the last inning, and he had 2 outs, nobody on, and then only giving up 3 runs and walked 2 guys. Next thing you know, guy hits a home run. And so end up, his stat line wasn't quite as well as he had pitched. He pitched a really good game for us, and as a freshman, to be able to give us that start in a huge game, a game that we needed to win, he's done a really nice job for being the young guy on the staff.
Hey, Skip, best of luck to you this weekend in Wisconsin. 4 big games against Milwaukee, turnaround, and the next weekend, 4 more big games down in Highland Heights, Kentucky, against Northern Kentucky. Listen, they're big games from here on out as you try to stay in the top 4 and get into the Horizon League tournament.
Yeah, everyone's big. We just don't. There's no non-conference really until late in the season, so everyone is very meaningful, and we're looking forward. We wouldn't want it any other way. Get a chance to go out and play meaningful games in this beautiful 80-degree weather that we have today. So we're going to get better today at practice, and hopefully we'll have some good news when we talk next week.
Hey, congrats on the success, and let's keep it up.
Thanks a lot.
You got it. Dan Bertolini, the manager of the YSU baseball team, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. We'll take a timeout, be back with more. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. Back after this.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Shuba. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Hubbard Chevrolet. Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Bad credit, no problem. I can get you approved for a low-interest loan and maybe even a low-payment lease on a new car at the #1 Chevy dealership in Trumbull County for 3 years in a row. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved or come see me, Tony Page, to get a new vehicle today. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. Did want to give an update. Canfield is currently leading Akron Firestone 6-0 in the top half of inning number 3. That game can be heard on ysnlive.com. Canfield looking for another victory. That game started at 1 o'clock, and they are in the top half of inning number 3 with a 6-0 lead on Akron Firestone. Austintown Fitch is playing Elyria over at Fitch High School. Both Fitch and Canfield are on spring break, hence the reason why they're able to play some games in the early afternoon hours, where if you're not on spring break, you would be playing your games around 5 o'clock, which, by the way, speaking of, here's the rest of the schedule, the games that can be heard on ysnlive.com. East Palestine will visit Firestone Park in Columbiana as they take on the Clippers. That's a 5 o'clock start. Champion is at LeBray. Jackson Milton will travel to Lowellville. Strongsville will make a venture into Stark County as they take on Louisville. Sebring is at McDonald. Mineral Ridge will travel to Springfield, and Marlington is at West Branch. All of those games will take place at 5 o'clock this afternoon. All of those games will be heard on ysnlive.com. But again, Canfield, now the update, Canfield has a 7-0 lead on Akron Firestone. That game is in the top of the 5th inning. That game is in Canfield. So it's a Canfield lead on Akron Firestone, 7-0. That game is being played at Canfield High School. So Firestone is batting in the top of the 5th inning, trailing Canfield 7-0. Man, Canfield is a good team. Oh, boy. When Canfield plays Fitch, those two games are going to be something special. No two ways about that. That's just going to be some great baseball when Canfield takes on Austintown Fitch later in this season. Both of those teams in the All-American Conference red tier, along with Boardman, Harding, and Howland. Made mention when we had Canfield and Fitch's baseball coach on last week. We talked about the fact that league, man, that league's going to be tough. That's going to be a really tough league, and just some good baseball. Some really good baseball being played. Made mention of the Columbiana victory over East Palestine yesterday in the EOAC. That was a combined no-hitter for the Clippers. Hoshar and Spooner with the combined no-hitter. That was a 3-0 Columbiana lead through 3 innings. And then the Clippers tacked on a pair of 5-run innings in the 4th and 5th to turn that into a 5-inning Mercy Rule final. Palestine didn't help things out. They committed 7 errors in the 5 innings. And, to put that into proper context, anytime you make an error, that is by rule, an error is what should have been an out. It's turned into an error, turned into a base runner. 7 errors equals 2 1/3 innings of extra baseball that you have unfortunately given to your pitcher. That's why defense is so huge in the game of baseball. You do not want to give your pitcher any extra outs. You don't want to give your pitcher that unfortunate opportunity to have to work any extra. And if you commit 7 errors in a game, whether it's a 5-inning game, a 7-inning game, or a 9-inning game, you're essentially giving your pitching staff an extra 2 1/3 innings of work that consequently 9 times out of 10 is going to lead to runs being scored that you don't want to have. And that's why defense is such an important part of the game of baseball. If a pitcher's getting ground balls where he keeps his pitches low, and the infielders aren't converting those ground balls into outs, that's where you run into problems. So unfortunately, Palestine did not help their pitching staff all that much yesterday, committing 7 errors in a 5-inning loss to the Columbiana Clippers yesterday. So those two teams will play each other at Firestone Park this afternoon at 5 o'clock. We'll have the game for you on ysnlive.com. Anthony Hartwig brought up a really good point yesterday, and it bears repeating because we had some precipitation, not that much. I mean, it was spitting rain, but it was enough rain to get things a little wet. When we're doing a game, because unfortunately 99% of the high school venues do not have a press box or do not have accessibility to put the equipment away from the elements, when it starts raining, we immediately have to put the kibosh on the broadcast because, well, you got to save the equipment. And because 99% of the games in the venues in high school baseball do not involve a press box or an area to keep our equipment dry, that's one of the unfortunate hazards of doing games outdoors. If the weather is not cooperating, even though the game may be continuing on, the broadcasts unfortunately cannot because, well, we have to save our equipment. So that's a downfall of doing high school baseball in the elements, unfortunately. All right, 330-886-0813. One thing that will not impede us from broadcasting Scrappers games this year, and again, our affiliation with the Scrappers, it's a 2-year deal that we signed where yours truly will be doing the play-by-play for Scrappers baseball. Now, as we made mention when Jordan Taylor was with us in the 1 o'clock hour, we will not be doing, or at least I will not be broadcasting the away games. Now, that doesn't mean that we will not be carrying the away games. We will be. The beautiful thing about this league, or at least this year, because of COVID, one of the things that we will be doing and this is the entire league, when the Scrappers are on the road, it is going to be the home broadcaster to broadcast the game for both their team and the visiting team. So when the Scrappers are at home, not only am I going to be broadcasting the game for the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, the game is also going to be heard in the market of the visiting team. So West Virginia, I don't know if they have terrestrial radio or if it's going to be on the internet, but those games will be heard for the fans of West Virginia. The Black Bears. It will also be heard for the fans of the Williamsport Crosscutters when they are in the Eastwood Field. Same thing for the State College Spikes. Same thing for the Frederick Keys. And the same thing for the Trenton Thunder. When those teams come to Eastwood Field, I will be the broadcaster for not only the Scrappers, but for the visiting team as well. Likewise, when the Scrappers go to West Virginia, it'll be the West Virginia Black Bears' responsibility. When the Scrappers go to State College, it'll be the State College Spikes broadcaster that calls the games. So you'll get an opportunity to hear the 6 teams, Mahoning Valley included. You'll get to hear the 6 broadcasters calling the games, and I look forward to hearing the broadcast of the other 5 contemporaries that are going to be doing the broadcast for each game in the inaugural season of the Major League Baseball Draft League. I really look forward to the relationship with the Scrappers, and I'm curious as to MLB Network. I know that they're on board with the Draft League, and with that is friend of the show. We haven't had him on we haven't had him on in a long time, and honestly, I don't even know if Jonathan Mayo has been on since I made the trip to YSN. He's a friend of the show from years gone by when I was on terrestrial radio. I'll be curious with the relationship with the MLB Network. The MLB Network is front and center with the MLB Draft, and Jonathan Mayo is quickly becoming the go-to guy for information regarding the draft prospects. And hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully Jonathan Mayo will be a visitor to Eastwood Field, being that his home base is in Pittsburgh, he has access and within driving distance, a comfortable driving distance of Morgantown, about an hour and a half outside of Pittsburgh, and about an hour and change outside of Pittsburgh is the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Hopefully, Jonathan Mayo will be a guest not only of this show during baseball season, during the draft league season, but hopefully a guest in the broadcast booth whenever Jonathan makes his presence felt at Eastwood Field. Just a wealth of knowledge in the last few years in regards to the MLB draft, and with the advent of this draft league, he is going to be a really, really important figure. Not that he hasn't been in the past. He's always been an important figure with draft coverage on the MLB Network, but he's going to be even more of a bigger figure now that the draft league is going to be taking place. And again, for those that are a fan of the Major League Baseball draft, this draft league is going to be absolutely crazy good for the MLB draft, which we're all looking forward to. And again, the All-Star Game and the MLB draft both moved out of Atlanta over the weekend. Commissioner Rob Manfred announcing that he was moving the All-Star Game and the MLB draft out of Atlanta, mainly because of the controversial Georgia voting law that was passed. Today they announced that Coors Field in Denver, Colorado is going to be the landing spot for the 2021 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, as well as the 2021 MLB Draft. Now, I made mention on this show earlier. I'll make mention on this again today. Whether or not you agree with Commissioner Manfred's decision to move the All-Star Game out of Atlanta, that's irrelevant. I'm going to go strictly on his decision to move the game to Denver. Look, one of the reasons why the game was moved to Denver, high altitude, the ball carries, there's going to be an awful lot of offense. A big reason to have the All-Star Game in Denver, the home run hitting contest, is going to be epic because, well, home runs are pretty much a common thing in Denver. The high altitude, the ball travels a lot further in Denver. The home run hitting contest, on paper at least, could be epic, depending on how many people decide to sign up for the home run hitting contest. But here's the reason, the biggest reason why I'm pretty much crapping on the commissioner's decision today. If you're taking the All-Star Game out of Atlanta, and again, whether I agree with it or not is irrelevant. I'm on the fence, by the way, just for those wondering. I'm on the fence. I kind of wanted to see Atlanta have the All-Star Game. Despite the passing of this controversial law, I wanted to see Atlanta have the All-Star Game because you're going to be honoring the late Henry Aaron. Henry Aaron's career was in Atlanta, most of his career. Now, you're taking away the All-Star Game. What Commissioner Manfred should have done was put the All-Star Game into the city that was the second part. And well, let me back up. It was the early home of Henry Aaron in his major league career, and it became the last stop and last home in Henry Aaron's illustrious Hall of Fame Major League Baseball career. The All-Star Game should have been played in Milwaukee. If you're not going to play the game in Atlanta, the All-Star Game should have been played in Milwaukee. You simply cannot honor the memory of Henry Aaron, who we lost in the offseason. You cannot honor the memory of Henry Aaron at an All-Star Game in Denver, Colorado. I mean, you can, but there's no connection there. Denver didn't even have a Major League Baseball team when Henry Aaron was playing Major League Baseball. Look, I understand, you know, you're caught up and everyone's caught up into the possibility of the home run hitting contest. Okay, I get that. But you got to honor the history of the game. Good Lord, one of the greats to ever play this game just passed away. And you got to honor one of the greats of the game. If you're not going to put the All-Star Game in Atlanta, Georgia, where Henry Aaron made his bones as a Major League Baseball player for most of his career, then you got to put the All-Star Game in the other place where Henry Aaron, A, started his Hall of Fame career, and B, finished his Hall of Fame career, and that place is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's where the All-Star Game should have been played, because that is the only other place where you can legitimately honor Henry Aaron and have that part of the magic of the All-Star Game and have it freaking mean something, because Milwaukee was Henry Aaron, much like Atlanta was Henry Aaron. If you're not going to put the All-Star Game in Atlanta, you should have put the All-Star Game in Milwaukee. So Manfred and whoever made this clown decision gets an F- from a historical reference. I mean, I understand, okay, the lore of a home run hitting contest in Denver, Colorado makes sense. I get it. But under the circumstances, you're going to be honoring Henry Aaron. There's no connection there. The connection other than Atlanta was Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's where the All-Star Game should have been put instead of Atlanta. I mean, if you're going to get rid of Atlanta, which I don't necessarily agree with that decision, I still think, part of me still thinks that Atlanta should have kept the All-Star Game and let the Braves make the political decision that they're against this law. Let the Atlanta Braves deal with that. I'm not necessarily in favor of taking the All-Star Game away from Atlanta, but the decision was made. Okay, it is what it is. Decision was made. But the decision of moving the All-Star Game from Atlanta to Denver is ridiculous. It's a stupid decision. You're honoring Henry Aaron. Henry Aaron has nothing to do with Denver, Colorado. The only other city that would have made sense is Milwaukee, Wisconsin, because Aaron's career started in Milwaukee when the Braves were still in Milwaukee, and it ended in Milwaukee when he was a member of the Milwaukee Brewers. So Major League Baseball, on your decision to Colorado. Makes no sense. All right, 330-886-0813. We're back in a bit. Stick around.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Right now is a great time to get more for your trade-in at Tri-State Ford and drive home in a new or pre-owned vehicle. Choose from our great selection of new Ford models or pre-owned vehicles. Plus, get the Tri-State Ford Advantage, including a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty and more. At Tri-State Ford, we'll pay you top dollar for your trade, but you don't have to purchase one of ours to sell us yours.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit wrswealthadvisors.com. Good luck, athletes!
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Got a hold of Greg Goulas. We will get him on Friday as we will talk about the statue that is going to be dedicated at some point in time. Unfortunately, it's not going to be on the 75th anniversary of the handshake between George Shuba and Jackie Robinson that occurred April 18th, 1946, up in Montreal, Quebec, when the future Hall of Famer Jackie Robinson played for the Brooklyn Dodgers 1 year before he broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. That handshake went a long way to solidify not only Jackie Robinson as a Brooklyn Dodger or as an accepted member of the Brooklyn Dodgers, went a long way in baseball history as well. And as I made mention, had that been done in Major League Baseball instead of in AAA, where Jackie Robinson had played, not only would that be a moment that would be in Cooperstown right now, it would have also been a moment that would have most definitely made the movie 42, which was a great movie a few years back on the life of Jackie Roosevelt Robinson. But we will talk with Greg Goulas about that statue, which is going to be dedicated at some point in time. Unfortunately, it's not going to be this month, where it was intended to be dedicated on the 75th anniversary, which would be April the 18th. Unfortunately, it is not going to be dedicated on that particular day because of COVID. But we will be dedicating it at some point late this spring, early this summer. All right, that'll do it for the show. Tomorrow, we will have Brian Tolnar on at 1 o'clock. Oh, yeah, it's Masters Week. We'll most definitely talk Masters with Brian Tolnar. We'll also talk about the latest of what's going on over at Mill Creek. Anthony Hartwig will be with me as well. Should be a barrel of fun tomorrow, noon to 3 on a Wednesday edition of Running Points. Coming up at the top of the hour, Power Hour. I'm going to be heading to, you'll know where tomorrow. Doing some umpiring today. Going to be behind the dish today. I'll tell you where tomorrow. So I don't get anyone giving me all kinds of grief. That'll be then. We will talk tomorrow, noon to 3. It'll be a Wednesday edition of Running Points tomorrow from noon to 3 on ysnlive.com. Power Hours coming up next. Make it a great rest